A very good afternoon to everyone and welcome to the AFC Cup 2022 knockout stage draw conducted here in Kuala Lumpur, the home of the Asian Football Confederation. My name is Zhonghwan Won and I'm once again delighted to be your MC for today's show. The AFC Cup group stage produced many entertaining encounters starting from the West and South zones in April, followed by the ASEAN, Central and East zones, which successfully completed at the end of last month. We'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the clubs who have advanced to the knockout stage of the tournament. From the West, South, ASEAN, Central and East zones, the AFC Cup 2022 edition provided 37 clubs with the opportunity to shine on the international stage. And now the AFC Cup trophy is within their reach. Indeed, the journey is far from over and football fans in Asia can expect even more thrilling encounters. To bring back some memories, let's watch the action-packed video which were showcased during the group stage. Thank you. Now, before we move on to the next part of today's event, let's watch the welcome address by the AFC's General Secretary, Datuk Seri Windsor John.
Participating member associations and clubs, football fans, members of the media, dear friends. On behalf of the AFC President, Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, a very warm welcome to one of the highlights of the AFC's competitions calendar, the AFC Cup 2022 knockout stage draw. Just 2 weeks ago, we concluded the group stage of the AFC Cup. And while we witnessed some captivating action on the pitch, the true triumph was observed off the pitch as we successfully completed the group stage across all 5 zones for the first time since the start of the pandemic. The undeniable passion associated with the AFC Cup was celebrated as tens of thousands of Asian football fans returned to the stadiums. More importantly, the clubs from our developing member associations across all the 5 zones were given the opportunity to compete in top-level continental football once again. We must convey our gratitude to the 10 host member associations and their respective governments for enabling us to reach this stage through their commitment in completing a successful group stage. And not for the first time, we witness rising standards as the gap between the teams grew closer across the continent. This was showcased as we saw 2 teams each from the West, ASEAN and Central zones and 1 team from the each zone qualify past the group stage for the first time. In development terms, this means that not only are more teams benefiting from the AFC Cup, but many are more committed than ever towards raising the bar with each passing edition. It exemplifies the AFC's ambitions through our vision to lift the standards of football in Asia by delivering world-class competitions. We must thank our clubs and member associations, all of whom continue to capture the imagination of Asia's passionate fans. I would also like to thank the officials, members of the media, our commercial and broadcast partners, and of course, the loyal supporters of Asian football for their continued support. With so much at stake, let us turn our attention now to today's main attraction. I wish all the teams the very best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Datuk Seri Windsor. Back to business. Today's draw will begin from the West, Central and ASEAN zone, followed by the Interzone playoff. We're now moments away from the main event, but to prepare us for the draw, please watch this draw mechanics video to understand how it all comes together.
AFC Cup 2022 Knockout Stage Draw Mechanism. Participating clubs. 8 clubs, as highlighted below, will participate in the AFC Cup 2022 Knockout Stage, Zonal Finals, and Interzone Playoff. The hosts of the Zonal Finals and Interzone Playoff will be decided in the draw, with the first team drawn, Team A, hosting the respective matches. The following are the pairings of the AFC Cup 2022 West Zonal Semifinal fixtures, which are based on the scenario of the best second-place club coming from Group B, as previously announced during the group stage draw mechanics. The matches will be played as a single-leg match on the 5th and 6th of September 2022 at the venue of Team A. The winners of the matches will qualify to the single-leg AFC Cup 2022 West Zonal Final on the 4th of October 2022. The single-leg AFC Cup 2022 Central Zone Final will be played on the 17th of August 2022. The winner will qualify to the single-leg AFC Cup 2022 Interzone Semi-Finals on the 6th to 7th of September 2022.
The following are the pairings of the AFC Cup 2022 ASEAN Zonal Semifinal fixtures, which are based from the best second-place club coming from Group H.
The single-leg matches will be played on the 9th and 10th of August 2022 at the venue of Team A. The winners of the matches will qualify to the single-leg AFC Cup 2022 ASEAN Zonal Final on the 24th of August 2022.
ATK Mohun Bagan FC from India was crowned the zonal champion of the AFC Cup 2022 South Zone and qualified for the AFC Cup 2022 Interzone Semi-Finals to be played as a single-leg match on the 6th and 7th of September 2022. Eastern Long Lions from Hong Kong was crowned the zonal champion of the AFC Cup 2022 East Zone and qualified to the AFC Cup 2022 Interzone Semi-Finals to be played as a single-leg match on the 6th and 7th of September 2022.
Mode of competition. The winner of the West Zone Final shall qualify to the AFC Cup Final. Interzone Playoff. The 4 clubs from the Central, South, ASEAN, and East Zones, zonal champions, will be drawn into 2 pairings where each club shall play a single match against the opponent club to determine the winner. The 2 winners of the Interzone Semi-Finals will qualify to the single-leg Interzone Final, with the following match sequence to be played at the venue of the winner of Interzone Semi-Final 1. The winner of the Interzone Final will advance to the AFC Cup Final. The following match sequence shall apply for the single leg final at the venue of the winner of the interzone final. Draw principles. There will be 4 pots: West, Central, and ASEAN zones, as well as the interzone playoff. The clubs will be placed in the pots according to their zonal distribution. There will be no seeding and no country protection. Therefore, an open draw will be implemented in each pot. Draw procedure. The draw will proceed in the following sequence. West Zone. The first and second balls drawn from the West Zone pot shall be placed as Team A, host club, and Team B, away club, respectively in the West Zone final. The same procedures apply to the Central and ASEAN zones. Interzone playoff. The first and second balls drawn from the interzone playoff pot shall be placed as Team A, host clubs, while the remaining 2 balls shall be placed as Team B, away clubs, of the interzone semifinal 1 and 2 respectively. This shall conclude the draw for the AFC Cup 2022 knockout stage.
As the video explained, the host Team A of the zonal finals and interzone playoff will be decided at today's draw, with the first team drawn hosting the respective matches. Now that we're all clear, please welcome Deputy Director of Competitions and Football Events Division, Avazbek Berdiklov, to conduct the draw for us today.
Greetings from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the home of Asian football. With AFC Champions League final moved to 2023 due to change of season in AFC Club competition calendar, we have only 1 final left in 2022 for our club competition, which will be the final of the AFC Cup on 22 October to be hosted at the venue of the interzone playoff winner. Today, we'll decide the path for all clubs all the way until that final. And this draw will merely serve as identification for the host clubs of the remaining matches to be played in a single leg format. We have 12 clubs still competing in this competition for the grand prize of $1.5 million. There are 4 clubs from the West Zone, Arabi Sports Club from Kuwait, Al Sib Club from Oman, East Rifa, and Al Rifa from Bahrain. They're scheduled to play semi-final matches on 5 and 6 September in Kuwait and Bahrain, respectively. We also have 4 clubs from the ASEAN zone, PSM Makassar from Indonesia, Viettel FC from Vietnam, Kedah Darul Aman, and Kuala Lumpur City FC from Malaysia. They're scheduled to play their semi-final matches on 9 and 10 August in Indonesia and Vietnam accordingly. We also have 2 clubs in the Central Zone, Professional Football Club Saudiana from Uzbekistan and Football Club Khojand from Tajikistan, scheduled to play their zonal final on 17 August 2022, with the venue to be decided today. And 1 club from each, ATK Mohun Bagan FC from India and Eastern Long Lions from Hong Kong, the winners of each respective zones of South and East, waiting to learn their opponents to play against in the interzone semi-final matches. Due to zonal distribution of this competition, and thanks to the pairings fixed prior to the competition, we already know who will play who in the knockout stages of each zone. And the dates of the matches are also confirmed at the beginning of the season. And today, we shall identify who will be the host of these single leg matches upcoming later next month. The final of the AFC Cup will be played on 22 October 2022, and by the order of rotation, this year's grand finale will be hosted by the winner of the interzone playoff. It can be Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, India, or Hong Kong, depending on who will reach the final among the remaining clubs of the ASEAN, South, Central, and East zones. Clubs from Oman, Kuwait, and Bahrain, the remaining contenders from the West Zone, will be the guest team of the final match. In Asia, we have a custom to respect our guests. And following that tradition, we start today's draw from the West Zone, the guests of the final match. Let's identify who will host the final of the West Zone among the pairings of which were already fixed for the semifinals. We have two pairings here, winner of West Zone semifinal 1 and winner of West Zone semifinal 2. So the ball in my hand will be the host of West Zone final to be played on 4 October 2022. And it is Al Arabi Sports Club from Kuwait and Al Sib Club from Oman. Depending on who will win the semi-final match, one of these two clubs will be the host of the West Zone final on 4 October 2022. And the visiting team for the West Zone final will be the remaining ball in this pot. It should be winner of West Zone semi-final 2, and here is the confirmation. We have pairing of two Bahraini clubs, East Rifa from Bahrain and Al Rifa from Bahrain, playing against each other in West Zone semi-final 2, and the winner traveling to West Zone final to either Kuwait or Oman. Now we know the path of the West Zone, so we continue with our draw and we identify where the final of the Central Zone will be played. We have two groups for Central Zone completed last month, and winners of these two groups will play against each other. Allow me to mix it properly. And the first ball coming out will be the host of the Central Zone final. It is Football Club Khojand from Tajikistan. They played their group stage matches in Kyrgyz Republic, and now they will travel back home to host Uzbekistan representative in the Central Zone final on 17 August 2022. And here is a confirmation that the remaining ball was Professional Football Club Saudiana. They will be the away club of AFC Cup Central Zone final on 17 August 2022. They traveled to Tajikistan for the group stage matches. Now they will travel again for the Central Zone final to play against FC Khojand. Moving on, in ASEAN Zone, we have semifinals already confirmed, and they will be played on 9 and 10 August. But now we shall identify who will host the final of the ASEAN Zone from among these two pairings. The final of ASEAN Zone will be played on 24 August 2022, and the ball in my hand holds the name of the host of that match. It is winner of the semi-final 2, which is Vitel FC from Vietnam or Kuala Lumpur City FC from Malaysia. Depending on the outcome of semi-final 2, the final of ASEAN Zone on 24 August 2022 will either be played in Vietnam or here in Malaysia. Remaining ball should reveal us the name of the remaining pairing in this pot, and here is the confirmation. Winner of ASEAN Zone semi-final 1, PSM Makassar from Indonesia and Kedah Darul Aman from Malaysia will be the away team in the final of ASEAN Zone. Now the interesting part, we have 4 zones who are represented by their champions, and they will be also eventually the host of the AFC Cup final on 22 October, as we explained earlier. So now we will identify what pairings we will have in the semi-final of Interzone, played on 6 and 7 September. And the semi-final 1, the first clubs drawn for the semi-final 1 will be the host of Interzone final accordingly. The first ball drawn will be the host of Interzone semi-final 1. And I have Eastern Long Lions from Hong Kong. The champion of East Zone will be the host of first semi-final in Interzone on 6 or 7 September 2022. And now we will identify the host of the second Interzone semi-final match. This club will not play against Eastern Long Lions, but it will be the host of second semi-final on interzone playoff. We have ATK Mohan Bagan FC from India. The club from Calcutta, they were the winner of the South Zone group, and they ended up as champion of the South Zone, and they will host interzone semi-final 2 at home. We have 2 balls remaining, champion of Central Zone, Sogdiana or Hojan, and champion of ASEAN Zone, one of the 4 clubs we already mentioned. They will be playing away in the semi-final matches. The first ball drawn will be playing against Eastern Long Lions in Hong Kong. And it is champion of Central Zone. So Professional Football Club Sogdiana or FC Hojan will travel to Hong Kong to play against Eastern Long Lions. And the last ball in this pot should be champion of ASEAN Zone. And here is the confirmation. Champion of ASEAN Zone, club from Indonesia, Vietnam, or Malaysia. They will play against ATK Mohan Bagan FC from India in interzone semifinals. Interzone final will be played at the venue of the pairing Eastern Long Lions or champion of Central Zone, and they will eventually host the final of the AFC Cup as well. This concludes today's draw, and I wish all participating clubs the best luck in the remaining matches, and see you on the field starting from next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Abbas. Let's recap the draw results. Starting from the West Zone, the West Zonal Final will be hosted by the winner of match between Arabi SC from Kuwait and Al Seef from Oman. And this match will take place on the September 5th. The visiting team, meanwhile, will be from the match between East Rifa from Bahrain and Al Rifa from Bahrain, and this match will take place on the September 6th. Moving on to the Central Zone, FC Kujan from Tajikistan will invite PFC Sogdiana from Uzbekistan to their venue in Tajikistan for their encounter on 17th of August. Now to the ASEAN Zone, the zonal final will be hosted by the winner of the match between Vietel FC from Vietnam and Kuala Lumpur City FC from Malaysia. And this match will take place on the August 10th. Moving on to the visiting team, it will be from the match between PSM Makassar from Indonesia and Kedah Darul Aman from Malaysia. And this match will take place on August 9th. Finally, for the interzone semi-finals, the fixtures will be Eastern Long Lions Hong Kong versus champion of Central Zone, and this is semi-finals 1. Now for the interzone semi-finals 2, ATK Mohun Bagan FC from India will compete against champion of the ASEAN Zone. Please note that the winner of the interzone semi-final 1 will host the interzone final on October 5th, where the winner of that particular match will be the eventual host for the AFC Cup 2022 final on October 22nd. This is the end of today's event. Good luck to all the participating clubs in your quest to qualify to the AFC Cup 2022 final on October 22nd later this year. And wherever you are, always remember to stay safe. Thank you and goodbye.